Hey, what is up, guys? Evanaldo here. Wanted to give you an update on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're also going to talk about the S&P 500 and the DXY today as well. But first things first, I want you guys to follow my Twitch, please. Going to be going live. Live streams are exclusively on Twitch now, so check that out. And please check out the link in the description below. First link in the description below for the BITGET trading tournament. I think it's going to end pretty soon, so check that out. Also, really good promo going on if you use my link down below, so check that out. So let's get into the analysis right here. If you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like. And 3-week, coming down with the money flow. This is the first time frame I want to show you. It's coming down with the money flow. You're about to come into the red right here. VWAP could curve down as well, so you could kind of get a double whammy with the money flow coming down with the VWAP. That could be a catalyst downward. Although it is a pretty large time frame, the 3-week, it could take longer for this to actually happen. Instead of a capitulation, instead of a clear capitulation like here or like here to the bottom, maybe this one could be a little bit different where it's just more of a gradual leg down, kind of following the S&P 500 into, I don't know, the summer or something. I mean, I don't know. My guess is that we bottom out around 11K. That's my main area. But it could be more of a boring gradual kind of leg down. That's a main thing I think that would get people just disinterested, which is what we kind of need to see a bottom, I feel like if we just capitulate down to like 10K quickly or 11K quickly, just based on, people I talk to, how people act, I think it's going to, like, here was a lot of apathy. Here was probably a lot of apathy as well. I don't really remember it too well in 2015, but, I feel like it's just more people are going to be talking about it every time something happens now. So what we want is kind of just a slow decline down to kind of get a lot of people disinterested. And I think that's kind of the main path to get people disinterested. There's also still obviously the case. I mean, look at here, January 2015, the two tops were the same as the 21 tops, the same month. So it would still make sense to come down in January as well, capitulate down this month. But, it's up in the air what could happen here. 2-week as well. I mean, this is typically about a 30% drop down over here. And then over here you saw it as well. Given that we're in the 2-week, I think this is an amazing DCA opportunity to probably start getting in for, the first about 10 months into September, October. If you wanted to get hypothetically, 10 grand invested in Bitcoin, 1,000 a month starting now would probably be a excellent strategy in my opinion. Not financial advice though. And moving down to kind of the weekly here, 2 yellow X's so far. Usually 4 to 5 until you really see a bottom. It could repeat kind of. I would be curious. Let's see if we could just repeat. Kind of this type of pattern here, and this was from August to January. That was, let's see, 19 bars. Let's see another 19 bars. Let me just see what the trajectory was there. It was 36% down over 21 bars, 19 bars, or approximately 20 bars, 20 weeks, and 35, right to 11K around May. So buy in May at 11K. That's a new rhyme we'll talk about, but there's that possibility, and that's really what we need to just bore a lot of people away from this market. Now, what you have is the 3-day kind of bullish div here. Money flow generally coming up. You came into the green, now you're back in the red. It's a little conflicting. What this normally means when you're seeing things conflicting like this, you normally kind of say sideways or range bound. It wouldn't surprise me at all that if we just come up to here and then come down, or maybe even retest the 300 weekly moving average at this point. I kind of don't think you're going to retest the 300 weekly moving average just because it was such a fierce rejection off of it. But it wouldn't surprise me if you come up to like 17.6, 17.5 here. Fed minutes were just pretty hawkish, kind of as I expected at least. So that's kind of what's bringing the market down right now. We'll talk about the lower time frames. Those do look pretty bearish. And you kind of see the same thing on the this is not a bullish div, but green dot on the 2-day bouncing off of there. So it kind of wouldn't surprise me if you do continue a little bit more forward here. Also, if you look at the 6-hour, that money flow crossover. I mean, obviously here that gave you something good. Here that gave you something pretty good. Maybe we're due for it to not work too well. Oh, even here that gave you a nice drop down right there. So I don't know. I mean, my guess right now is that maybe it won't work as well just because it's worked pretty well here in terms of, when you see money flow in the red and curving up into the green, maybe just roll over. That's one possibility. I mean, stock market still looks pretty bad. We'll talk about that as well. Like I mentioned, bearish div right here in the 2-hour, 1-hour bearish div, and you're losing the market set for SR point. Money flow coming out as well. This looks pretty bearish, to me. I mean, I think in all likelihood you'll probably come down to like mid 6s again from this. That's what it seems like right now. And then 15-minute money flow coming down as well, bearish div, same, or 22-minute I should say, excuse me, same thing. 15-minute money flow crossover. So all this looks pretty textbook market cipher for a pretty nice short down to like mid 16, 16.6, kind of that area right there. Let's move on to Ethereum. So Ethereum, you know, if you look at the 2-week, obviously the 2-week on Bitcoin is already in the red. This is not in the red. I was kind of drawing how I would predict it to come into the red. Here's May. You know, if you have that trajectory where maybe you hit the bottom kind of in May or April, something like that, just a slow decline down, that's when you get into the red, and that's an excellent kind of DCA opportunity for December 19 all the way to July 2020. That was, let's see, about 8 months right there. That would be a really good 8-month DCA period. So start to DCA in April, May, and then you're done by the end of the year. That would make a lot of sense because typically, after you bottom out, or Bitcoin will likely keep outperforming Ethereum in this bear market and into the accumulation phase if history kind of repeats itself. That's what we're looking at right there. If you're more trigger happy, obviously the 12-day, this is crossing into the red. It's coming back and forth. It's going to confirm in 8 days. Once this confirms, a nice probably 10-month DCA period as you're in the red, hoping for obviously another bull run after. And let's see here, you got the 10-day as well. It's coming, coming on and off for the green dot. Doesn't mean much to me until it confirms in 6 days. It would kind of subjective. I guess it would technically be a bullish div depending on where you kind of draw it. If you're somebody who draws it from the top of the wicks, yeah, it's a bullish div. If you're somebody who draws it from the middle, kind of iffy right there. So it's subject to a little bit of interpretation. And let's move on to some of these lower time frames here. This is, bullish div on the 3-day, just like Bitcoin. And this definitely has potential to bring you right up to back to this high volume node and this spiral line at 1320 right here. So yeah, that's a possibility if we continue bullish here. 8 hours coming into the green, that would be more bullish, kind of like this trajectory. And if you look at here, I mean, we've been really boring since November 10th. It would be nice if we break out quicker, but kind of what you see in the accumulation phases is people become more apathetic. It just gets a little bit more boring, sadly. Your hourly, just like Bitcoin, pretty bearish coming down. It would be pretty bearish if it is pretty bearish that you lost this spiral line. Market cipher SR point, I probably wouldn't give it as much credence as the spiral line, but I think it was more bearish that you lost this area, and then we should be headed down kind of in the short term. That's what I would say right there. And then 15-minute money flow coming down, 10-minute kind of the same thing, lower time frames money flow coming out. So getting a little bounce off of that area right now. If I had to guess right now, I would say it wouldn't be too short. It would be pretty short-lived, and then you'd probably continue down farther. But based on the kind of the 3-day, it is a little iffy here. All these conflict, when it's more conflicting, that means you're probably just going to stay range bound, just going to stay kind of sideways for the time being. Let's move on to the S&P 500 now. I wanted to show you guys the monthly red dot because this is rather bearish. That red dot right there. That's what I was looking at. And then, if you look at kind of, monthly red dots are kind of what starts the nightmare in the recessions. Look right here. I mean, you can make the argument we're kind of like 01 at this area. Look in 01. You got the green dot, then right after, green dot, then right after red dot, and that was not a fun situation, down 25% from that. So things could start to get volatile too. 25% is going to be 2,900, so that's a pretty significant decline. Also, if you want to compare a previous higher inflationary time, could be similar to this one too. This was November of 1974. I know it was a long time ago. Bitcoin was not around back then, but a lot of things weren't around back then. But 17% down. I mean, really more. This is just straight down. That would be, that would spook a lot of people out if we just come straight down like that. But 17%, that's pre-pandemic numbers, 3,200. So I don't see anything looking kind of too good here. I drew a line on this, I believe, or no, I didn't draw a line, but let me draw a line here just to show you something. Like, look at this trend line right here. So kind of my best case scenario for the short term for this is we could come back up to, kind of like 4,000, excuse me. And then after that, you continue down farther just to get some people out that are shorting. That's one possibility there. Also, the DXY, I mean, look at the daily, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow X's. Looks like it's going to curve around, continue, forward some more. Could be a little bit more sideways. DXY is could be really sideways boring sometimes. You could see that because we had an exciting kind of 2022. Well, really starting in 2021 into 2022 for it. 2013 could just be kind of sideways boring for the Dixie. I generally think it will come up, and I think you will probably top out at 130 or something. But it could be kind of into a lot of the year, and then towards the end of the middle end of the year, you could see that. I mean, it may not be just straight up like this. I think it's going to be somewhat different and probably less predictable than just that trajectory. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm looking at right now. Overall, I think in the short term, it is more bearish. There's definitely a possibility with the higher time frames that we could kind of break up a little bit higher. If you want to just get a technical target, I forgot to show you this earlier. I want to show you guys kind of a technical target for this area, this we're in right now. If you break higher, it would be somewhere of this nature, 17.4 right there, and not too much. Price, that's kind of where price rejected off right there in December 5th, so a little bit right there, a little bit right there as well. So that point could be decent for a potential place to look to top out. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, please subscribe to the channel. Check out my link to BITGET down below if you want to trade. You do need a VPN if you're in the US. The competition ends pretty soon, I think, so check that out. Also, please follow my Twitch. Also, please check out my exclusive Discord. Good time to sign up. Exclusive TA, really good community. A lot of my trade entry, stop losses, take profits as well. Not right 100% of the time, but we've had some really good trades in there. If you're interested in my trading course where I go over all the basics, how to do interpret market cipher and a lot of my strategies, link in the description below as well. All right, guys, have a good one. Goodbye.